It was a different Passover. Everything was kind of eerie. We all came in and sat down at the table and started the fellowship. Philip leaned over and said, "Hey, Timothy." Then he leaned over to me and said, "Hey, Thomas." I said, "What?" He said, "I think something different is going to happen tonight." I said, I doubt it. I was wrong. After we got done eating, Jesus stood up and walked over and grabbed a basin of foot water. Came over and knelt down in front of Bartholomew. Started washing his feet. We didn't understand what was going on. Why is Jesus washing our feet? He continued on and washed the feet of others and my feet. Kind of thought to myself, nobody's going to say a word. I was wrong. Peter.
Look, you are not washing my feet, Jesus. I mean, that's what I told him. I mean, come on, he's the King of Kings. He's the Lord of Lords. You are not washing my feet. We ain't having none of that. And he looked at me and said, "Hey, but Peter, if I don't wash your feet, then you can have none of me. You can't be a part of me. It just is not going to happen." And so I told him, like, that's fine. I mean, man, I got to be a part of him. I want to live with him. I want to go to heaven with him. And so, hey, wash my hands, wash my feet, wash my whole body. Do whatever you got to do. Clean me. And then he looked at me and he laughed and he said, "Peter, your feet will be just fine." Okay. In the midst of, though, Jesus washing our feet, he taught us servanthood.
Jesus gets done with washing our feet. He stands up and he's at the table and he picks up the bread and he broke it and blessed it and said, "This is my body. It's broken for you." Grabbed the cup and he said, This is my blood shed for you." What's going on? We don't understand. He said, "Today, one of you is going to betray me. And every one of you are going to walk out on me." No. This can't be. Nobody said anything. I didn't say anything. I just sat there.
Well, I wasn't just going to sit there. I mean, I know Jesus, he knows everything, but as I told him, I said, "Jesus, all these other guys, they may deny you. They may walk away from you. But me, no, I'll always be with you. I'll stand right by you. I'll be with you to the very end. I'll never leave you." And then he looked at me and said, "But Peter, you will betray me 3 times before the morning." I sat there. Next thing I know, we went to the garden.
I remember going to the garden, and it felt kind of different. I can't quite explain it. Jesus asked Peter, James, and myself to go a little further with him to pray, and so we did. Well, we tried. We kept falling asleep. Jesus kept having to wake us up. I remember him saying something about the spirit being willing, but the flesh is weak. That's true. It's all such a blur. And to think this got started because of Judas. Did he think what he was doing was really right?
That's him. That's the one he wants. Now remember, don't mess with the rest. They're trying to cause a scene and distract you, but the one that you want is the one that I kiss on the cheek. Now I told you my price. This check's gonna clear, right? In that case, remember, you're not concerned with anybody else. The one that you want is the one that I kiss on the cheek.
A kiss? Judas betrays Jesus with a kiss. Oh, and then things just got crazy. I saw Peter, he grabbed a sword and he chopped somebody's ear off. And Jesus picks up the ear and puts it right back on the guy's head as if nothing had even happened. And then they came. They took him. I would love to tell you that we fought for Jesus like we said we would. That I fought for him. But we didn't. Everybody ran. I ran. And I'm so ashamed. What have I done? What have I done? I might as well put the nails in his hands myself and the crown of thorns upon his head. I'm responsible for every stripe upon his back. I did it. I did it. I crucified Jesus.
I crucified Jesus. That's what the crowd wanted. That's what they got. Personally, I don't think that man did anything to deserve that. But I was just a soldier doing my job. When the governor gave his sentence, that's when I went to work. I love my job. I truly felt I was administering justice every time I nailed someone to a tree. But that man, Jesus, that man didn't deserve that.
Makes no sense. There I was, rotten in a jail cell. For stealing, murdering, you name it, I've done it. And I knew the first moment I stepped foot outside that jail cell, that was it. So the guards, they got me and they put me next to this man who had been beaten to a pulp. Governor Pilate, he began asking the question to the crowd, which one of these men do you want me to set free? I mean, it was obvious. The crowd was going to say, let Jesus go. And I was going to tell them exactly how I felt about it. Then the crowd, they started chanting, Barabbas. They were saying my name. They said it over and over again. So then they shoved me out into the crowd and they just carried this Jesus off the Golgotha. I mean, one minute I am a man marked for death. And the next minute I'm free. Made no sense. So I followed him all the way to Golgotha.
I was stationed at Golgotha that day. I'll never forget how he looked that day. He was beaten on, spit on, horribly whipped. He was totally unrecognizable as a man. Then the clothes that were left on him, they tore off. They threw him down onto the cross. Then I went to work. Normally when a man is crucified, the first hand is always the most difficult. Because a criminal wants to get away, and he fights so that I have to enlist 2 additional soldiers just to hold him down. But this man, Jesus, he didn't even put up a fight. I guess he was exhausted. As an executioner, I've been already called every name in the book. Some men yell at me. Some plead with me. But I was totally prepared that day because he just looked at us. He looked at me and he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He forgave me.
Forgive them. He said, forgive them. I mean, who is he? Forgive. It should have been me up there. I was the one that was supposed to be hanging on that cross. Took my place. Then I looked up and I remember he took a deep, agonizing breath. And he said, "It is finished." Then died.
Truly, this man, Jesus, was the Son of God.
I remember Peter and I running to the tomb. And I got there first. And Peter, I stopped at the door and Peter went in. And I saw the grave clothes.